Welcome to Overtime a Days, where we talk about relevant construction topics in the industry today. I've got Joey Summers with us, our Senior Vice President of Field Operations. Joey, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So today we're talking about RMS, and this is something that is a hot topic. It's always been a hot topic, specifically for Corps of Engineers projects. We're going to talk a little bit about that and also a little bit about where things are going in the industry, specifically with the Corps of Engineers. So Joey, give us a brief overview of what RMS actually is.
So first of all, RMS is mandatory. If you're going to do a government project, you better be using RMS. You have to use RMS.
Sure.
You have to understand it. You have to use it correctly. Essentially, it's a project record. That's where everything's controlled, where everything is kept. Any of your approvals, it's all going to run through RMS. So obviously mandatory to keep that up, keep it in shape, and make sure you stay on top of it.
So if you have somebody out there that's a quality control manager that doesn't know what RMS is or doesn't know how to use RMS, that's probably a pretty big problem.
Absolutely.
So what does that mean for contractors specifically?
So for contractors specifically, I'm going to talk number one, cash flow. If you want to get paid, you've got to have everything in RMS. It's got to be up to date. Your pay application goes through RMS. Everything that is approved for your pay application also goes through RMS. So it means everything for cash flow if you want to keep getting paid. Submittal control, obviously huge. All the submittals run through RMS. Quality documentation, keeping a record of all the quality documentation throughout the project. And then, of course, closeout at the end of the project. Before you get your final payment, everything has to be done, complete, in order on RMS.
So because RMS is so important, there has to be some pain points that some contractors continuously have or some people continuously have problems with it. What are some of those?
So it's very administrative heavy. There's a lot of data input you have to do, obviously. That's not necessarily specific to RMS. I mean, any of the systems out there, you run into those issues. You know, people complain about having to input the information. You may have additional complaints about RMS just because it's a little older than some of the other systems that are out there.
Right.
And some people experience more issues with that. There have been some technical issues with RMS in the past. At times it's gone down for months at a time, which really has an impact, obviously, on everybody doing a federal project. Yeah. Some of the other things, got to make sure your field to office communication is very strong, because if that communication is not strong and everything's not lining up in the field in the office, that's going to show up in RMS and things aren't going to match up. And government's going to come in and disapprove you or do whatever they need to do. It also exposes weak internal systems. So if you're a general contractor, you don't have a good way of tracking submittals, you're not on top of your prevailing wage, anything like that, RMS is going to expose that very quickly.
So I know a lot of our guys, we send quality control managers out to projects. A lot of times if they're coming in specifically in the middle of a project, a lot of times RMS, they're having problems with it, specifically because maybe it wasn't being kept up with or something like that. So it's pretty important to keep that completely on track. I know you can go back, you can fix stuff after the fact, but more or less it needs to be as up to date as possible at any given time during the project.
And absolutely. And the problem is, if you get behind on something, usually that just becomes exponential and it gets worse and worse. And a lot of times when we are brought into projects that have already started, that's one of the first things we do. It's the contractor saying, please clean up RMS for us.
Sure.
It's a mess. The government's all over us. We need to get this in shape. And that's where we bring our guys in, whether it's the on-site staff or our project control staff doing it remotely. We can get in there, see what the issues are, see where the missing information is, and start plugging that in.
So I know, too, RMS has been around for a while now. This is not the first iteration of RMS. I think we're on RMS 3.0 now. What is the future of RMS moving forward?
So really, the future of RMS is RMS going away. USACE is actually transitioning to Construction Management Platform, CMP, which is powered by Kahua, which is a commercial product that's readily available now. And so that's going to change a lot of things. And really, the intent for them transitioning away from RMS to CMP is because, like you said, RMS has been out there for a while.
Right.
There have been updates, but it hasn't substantially changed the way it works. So it's a little antiquated. It's mostly for the government and the main contractor. Subcontractors are not as involved. Their information has to go in there, but they don't necessarily have access to everything. So a lot of information's really under lock and key.
Yeah.
So by moving to CMP, it's going to really open it up, like more of the commercial projects where subcontractors are going to have access. Everybody's going to have access to the information that they need access to. So it's going to become the single source of truth. It's going to be much more real time. A couple of the big things, CMP will work with mobile field access.
Wow.
So right now, RMS, you take your iPad out there, you're not connecting.
Yeah.
A lot of contractors like to pull up the plans and then RFIs everything right from their iPad. Right now, that doesn't connect to RMS. That's not an option with RMS. It will be with CMP. So that's going to be a game changer. And then on top of that, it's going to incorporate BIM and visualization as well, which is huge.
Wow.
RMS doesn't have that at all right now. So that's going to be a big game changer.
So it seems like they're moving more towards something like a project teams or a Procore type of a system, which obviously we've been talking about this for years, that they needed to do something with this.
Yes.
So I think more or less it's a good thing, not a bad thing. I think with everything else, even when they switch from QCS to RMS, they're going to have growing pains associated with that. And I'm sure there's learning platforms out there and things like that. But is there any time frame associated with that, or is it?
Yes. So currently, the government has stated currently their plan is to start rolling this out in January of 2027.
Okay, so yeah.
And it'll roll out in 6 phases, so it is soon. Now, I'll caveat that by saying that's not set in stone yet.
Of course
and
not.
as we saw with the updated EM385, that pushed a little bit. So it is coming for sure. That's a definite sooner rather than later. And the current plan is existing projects will be transferred over to CMP, from RMS to CMP. So the government is supposed to handle that piece of it, but it's going to be very important that the contractors have everything up to date, in line in RMS to make that transition better, because the transition is not going to fix
Sure.
or organized. So it's very important to stay on top of that.
Okay. Understood. Boy, there's a lot to digest with that specific. I'm sure we'll do another one of these once it rolls out, just to give you guys some more information on it. Cause I mean, a lot of our job is being the experts right now in RMS. We do a lot of RMS assistance. We do a lot of RMS training. So I'm sure when the transition happens, we'll be trying to get on the forefront of that. So we'll probably have another one for you guys on that. We'll probably send out some articles. We'll have some things on our website about that too. So if you guys need any assistance on anything related to that, or you just have questions about where things are going, don't hesitate to call us. Go to ace-consulting.net. You can send us a message there if you have any other questions or want to read the article associated with RMS specifically. We've got a bunch of different articles on the website as well. Go to our toolbox, go down to articles, and you can find all those there. Joey, thank you so much for the time. Thank you for the information, man. We really appreciate it. And as always, work with experts, work with ACE. Thanks, guys.